Watch everybody, welcome back to the Zeusdaz Unemulated Retro Game Channel, and I go by the name of Zeus, and for this shit game time I bring you another game for the Amstrad CPC464 and what I consider the shittest conversion out of the lot of Street Fighter 1. And that's saying something. There were certainly a lot of them, and this came out by those incompetent fucks, as we know, back in 1988, Teartex. Oh god, I could spend hours slating those assholes. But anyway, here we go. I decided to do this one because after going through all the other versions, including the ST and Amiga versions, this stood out as probably, if not the worst version, and I'll get into that right now. I shall rate it on the shitometer at the end. Not really hoping for much of a low score on this one. This is going to be pretty high, as you expect. But for a start off, let's start with this. No title screen. Nothing. That's exactly what you're greeted with the moment the game loads. Press fire, game over. Nothing more. No music, no text, nothing. So we'll do what it says. We'll press fire, and this is where it all speaks for itself. Okay, Ryu versus Retsu, level 1, and as you can see straight away, boom, look at that colour palette. Now if that doesn't hurt your eyes, I don't know what will. That is just fucking awful. Everything is really strong. The strong blues against strong reds and oranges and yellow. It's just awful. It's so much. You have to literally turn the colour down on your television. I don't recall a game out of all the games I've played where I've actually had to reach for the TV remote and turn the colours down. It's that bad. Surely they could have chose better colours than that. That is just really strong on the eyes. It's not good. Terrible choice. And let's get on with the other thing that I hate about this game. For start off, no music, nothing, jerky scrolling, couple of crunch noises that we'll get into in a minute as soon as we hit each other. But as you can see, chunk 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 is the scrolling. Let's see if I can get a kick. Boom, there you go. Little crunch. That's it. Let's go back over here. Nice smooth scrolling there. Can't knock that. God, Jesus, I know the Amstrad had its issues with side scrolling, but that is terrible. As you can see, the response is about a second delay in the kicks. Now, a lot of you are thinking, well, what about the Commodore version, 64? That was really bad. Well, there were two versions of that. There was the UK version, which was very blocky, and there was the American version, which had sort of little midget characters, but that was a lot of fun to play, and you could pull off all the special moves. Again, in this version, the Teartex version, all the special moves are gone. Can't do anything. It's like all the versions have been designed with the same fight engine. Awful. But the Commodore 64 version, the English version, now that shows me, including Human Killer Machine on Commodore 64, that shows me that somebody showed a glimmer of talent at Teartex because of the music. The C64 version's got quite good music, including Human Killer Machine. If you ever play that, it's got good music. So somebody showed a bit of talent there, but obviously nobody there knew how to program the AY sound chip on the Spectrum or on here. Now the Spectrum version is monochrome graphics, which you can change by pressing the I went out of timeout, which you can press with using the C button. You'll see that in my upload of it if you check that out. At first stage I keep swapping the colours just to show you, just to try and make it different for each stage. But this doesn't have that. I wish it did. I wish it did have monochrome graphics, because that is just a terrible colour palette. But the Spectrum version was very fast. It really wasn't that bad of a version. The only problem is it didn't have any music. If they stuck some 128K AY music in it, it might have worked. Because as I said, graphically, yes, it's monochrome, but the characters are quite detailed. That was the thing about the Spectrum. It was able to do very small pixels and get much more definition. But the Amstrad, you know, as we know, is a bit blocky. Commodore 64 is very blocky. We've all come to know that. But Jesus Christ, couldn't you guys have chosen a different colour palette than this? This is just the pits. I've had to actually turn my TV remote down because it hurts my eyes, and I'm not an old man, you know. It really is that strong. I'm not joking. The characters themselves, especially the enemies, are just dumb. They don't seem to know what the fuck they're doing. They're just jumping around and hitting and hoping for the best. And yes, you can just cheat. You can just crouch and just keep kicking. If he gets near, he can't touch you. It's just no fun at all. No fun at all. Reminds me of the days that I was looking great forward to the Conversion Street Fighter 1, which was my favourite arcade game, and I got heartbroken. But to this, from 1990 to this day, I own the actual arcade machine. But if you've kept, there we go, fuck you. If you've watched my videos, I've probably said that quite a few times. But I'm very proud of having that in my home. It's the only way I can play the real deal. Even MAME doesn't duplicate it perfectly. It's a shame really, because all the YouTube videos of the arcade versions, including mine, just show it in a different light, in a false light, jerky, distorted sound, and it's not like that at all. But anyway, back to the Amstrad version. As you can see, it's multi-load, so I got to load the next bloody stage in, one character at a time. And if I remember right, even the Spectrum version didn't do that. It loaded each country at a time, 2 characters at a time. But this, you got to load each character. So another black mark for the shit-o-meter. Let's get on with the next level. Just give me a second and I shall be back. And welcome back. Here we go with level 2. He's already took a round off me because it took me a while to rearrange the wires, because I have to actually record, play. See, look at one kick and it's took 3/4 of my life, and that's it, game over. It takes a while for me to put the wires back in, and it's very awkward to do commentaries when you're doing it on emulation, so trust me when I'm saying to you it takes time and it's tricky. But anyway, I just wasted one of my credits there, so we'll crack on with this one. And this time I tend to beat this bastard, but obviously the power, the hit ratio isn't balanced on this character. There's another character, as far as this game goes as well, one of the early characters where you just see, look, you can't even see. Look at that. It's just terrible. It's not playable at all. Just to keep jumping with this guy, you can't. It's the only guy you can't crouch down and just whack. Hammering away. The delay on this is terrible. You can't see what I mean. You just can't. You can't contact with him. He's just constantly bloody walking away. Look at that. Fuck off. Leg sweep. Have I done enough? Probably not. There we go. He suckered me in. Another credit lost. I remember this on the Spectrum version. The hit ratio just wasn't fair. One hit from this guy and it takes 3/4 of energy away, which is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. It's just such a bloody delay on the hitting. Look at that. Awful. Absolutely awful. Stop jumping about just because I am. Get him in the corner and fuck him up. There we go. Come on, I must have had him. Yeah, bollocks to you. God. Oh, there is a bit more sound, of course. Your time as it goes down. No one at that company seemed to know what to do with an AOI sound chip, did they? They didn't know anything. Now, Tim Folin was working for Go, which was also under the US Gold label. Why couldn't they have given it to that division? At least we'd have had some music. That might have made the world of difference, especially in the Spectrum version, because like I said, it's fast and it moves well. and I think it would have worked. Trying to get this guy in the corner. It's the only way out. See, look at that. Fucking all my half my energy gone already. Oh, come on, kick. Stop delaying. Yay, fucking hell. Well, I'm probably going to have to turn off again now because I've got to load some more multi-level crap. So just bear with me. But I think they might... Let's see if there's a bonus stage in this version. Did they include it? Yeah, what strength? Yeah, whatever. Did they include the bonus round? Yes, they did. Wow, they actually included something. One of the bonus rounds, anyway. Oh, look at those colours, are just dreadful. It's pathetic. Pathetic. Amateurs. Absolute amateurs. Right, on to USA now, so just give me a second and I'll be back. Right, here we go with Joe. Third opponent, first opponent of the America of USA, and again, no change with the colour of the backgrounds. Look how strong those reds are, right next to those blues. Oh, it's too much, it's far too strong. Thank God I got the colours down. Oh, so now here's an example, just stay in the corner and just keep whacking away. That's all you got to do. There we go. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Yeah, you don't have to keep telling me. I know where I'm facing. So again, very jerky. Look at that scrolling. Boom, 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 boom. It's like big clunks of scenery that comes into play. It's just not smooth at all. What were they thinking about these colours? And you know, as kids, we always used to sort of huddle close to the screen. And our parents, well, mine used to say, don't you sit so close to the screen, sit back a bit. Imagine you sitting this close to the screen with these colours. It's terrible. Come on, let's pussy out and beat you that way. Come on, you only want your legs kicked out. There you go. Now on to Mike, the second guy of America. In the arcade, he's quite a big guy. But in this, yeah, they're cutting down a bit. Doesn't look much higher than, taller than Joe. Yeah, whatever. Just horrible, horrible. Right, on to the next level. Back in a second. Right, here we go with Mike. As you can see, he's a tiny bit bigger, but in the arcade he's much bigger than Ryu. And he's also looks like a white guy in this. He's supposed to be an African American in the arcade version. So again, could have chose a better colour for the skin, but they didn't, and I can just do that. Here we go. Now you try doing that against Mike, you've got no chance in the arcade, no chance at all. You can put your guard up and he's punching like crazy at you. He crouches and punches at a rocket speed. If you put your guard up, it took a while back in the day for anyone to suss that trick out. You can actually protect yourself. But there's nothing in this game, in this version at all, that, see, what you're punching at and then he's walking back. The Mike would, in the arcade, would just gradually work his way over to you, and you'd have to fight him. You can't get away. That's what I liked about Street Fighter 1 in the arcade compared to Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 1 was full on. If you didn't do anything, you're going to die in seconds. Whereas Street Fighter 2 I found a lot slower. You could take your time with it. The hit, the power of the hits wasn't so strong. And sometimes it felt like you could walk away for a split second, go and drink your glass of Coke, your can of Coke, come back, 4 seconds later, 5 seconds later, you'll still be alright. with all your health, but Street Fighter 1 you'd be dead. Simple as that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play to the next character, which was my favourite in the arcade, Birdie. Now in the arcade, England was the 4th country, whereas all the home versions, they seem to have made England the 3rd country and China the 4th. So normally it would be Lee from China after this character, but it's going to be Birdie. Now I reckon because of that the idiots converted it from an arcade board, a PC board, that was a copy board, a fake board. Well, there you go. Yeah, a fake board, a copy board. If you know PCBs, you know the difference. They usually come out of one board, they're unbranded, they're just copies, worth nothing. It's the originals that are worth a lot, and I've got 5 original arcade boards of this, so yeah, I've got quite a lot of money tied in there. There's Mike, and that's bonus round. Again, in the arcade there'd be a different bonus round now, but in this one it's just the brick smashing section, which is just the same old crap. It's just, what were they thinking about these blues and reds? They're terrible. Right, we're loading Birdie, which is going to be the next guy, and then we'll rate it on the shitter meter. I'll die on Birdie because this is quite painful to me to play, probably even more painful for you to watch. So we'll crack on with Birdie, and then we'll rate it on the shitter meter. Back in a second. Right, here we go with Birdie. As you can see, he's much bigger. Much bigger. And in the arcade, he was a serious badass. If you're playing the original board, that is. It'd just knock you out in a couple of headbutts. That was it. By far my favourite beat 'em up character. Until they completely murdered him in later arcade versions of games and spin-offs. To the point he's now a bloated, out of shape, fat black guy. Work that out. So, and don't give me that crap about him having flu, any of you Street Fighter fans, because it's a bullshit excuse to fuck about with a character. There's no need for it. In here he's portrayed like he always should have been, as a white British punk, and a very fucking big one at that. So here we go, more scrolling effects, bad effects, more blues and reds. They just don't change the colours at all. It's blues, reds and oranges. That's it. Pretty much. That's the whole colour scheme. Blue, red and orange. But now I'm not going to... this would normally be China now. This would be Lee, followed by Jen, then Birdie and then Eagle before the Thailand characters. But, oh, he caught me with a nasty headbutt there. But I'm going to die now anyway, because this is doing my head in now. It's just not enjoyable, and it's bringing back bad memories of me being heartbroken as a school kid. Even though I didn't have an Amstrad back then, I had a Spectrum and a Commodore 64. But they all could have been better in their own ways. Come on, you big fuckers. There's one headbutt. Kill me off so we can rate this shit. You gonna headbutt me? There we go, headbutt. Boom, dead. Mind you, I might have another continue. But I'm not going to use it. So here's a big character there, you know. But again, blues, reds and oranges. That's the only 3 colours I use. Game over. There we go. Thank God. So what am I going to rate it as? Well, for a start off, as I said a million times, the colour scheme is terrible. There's hardly any sound in it at all. Very much like the Spectrum version as far as the sound goes. It's blocky. Very, very jerky. No special moves. Like I said, no music. That would have helped. Some kind of music. It's just painfully bad. That's all there is to it. And I consider this, apart from maybe the DOS version, which is quite rare, but I actually recorded the DOS version of it a few weeks ago, which I've yet to upload. But apart from that version, it's come out on the PC Engine, TurboGrafx. You've got the Amiga, the ST, Amstrad C64, ZX Spectrum. I don't think there was any other versions of it, was there? There was American version 64 as well. But this is easily the worst. That's all there is to it. It's completely shite. So I'm going to rate it on the shitometer. I'm going to give it a 91. I'm going to give it 91 shits out of 100. Might have been a few more higher, but it's an Amstrad, and the reason I say that is because it was notorious for jerky scrolling. So if I start ridiculing that, then there's going to be a lot of other games that will be up further up the shitometer for the Amstrad games. So taking the scrolling out of the side, if it was just for that game, then fair enough. I know homebrew games are much better now for the Amstrad. The late games that have been released for it, there's been quite a few shooters which are very smooth, which I've recorded as well, but they are mostly appeared on the 6128 machine. But this is the 464 we're talking about, which is, if any kid had an Amstrad at school, especially over here in England, it'll be often the 464, because the 6128 back then was far too much for any kid to parents to fork out, unless they were in private school, which we wasn't. So there we go. So 91 shits on the shitometer for Street Fighter 1 by Tiertex, you fucking useless wank rods. Another, what can I say, another cock trophy of turdness is awarded to you guys. Simple as that. So there we go, guys. I hope you've enjoyed that Let's Play. Sorry it's been a bit choppy, but that's because it's been a multi-load, and it's very awkward to do that on an Amstrad when you're doing commentary on the real hardware. You have to keep swapping leads, so it's a little bit tricky, that, which is why I prefer to do commentaries on one game loaders only, so there's no multi-load. But there we go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Please still visit my channel. I hope you comment, and please subscribe, and I shall do my best to keep bringing you Let's Plays and shit game times and long plays. Until then, take care you guys, and happy gaming.